Hello YouTube. Have you wondered what happens in the last hour of every year? Well, a lot of things. And here is the list. And we are going to cover things that also specifically will happen at the end of 2025. In the final hour, your heart beats 3,600 to 4,200 times. You'll breathe 1,100 times in that hour. In the United States, 430 babies will be born and 325 individuals will die. Not only will the year end, their life was well, apparently. Moving on to the national fiscal budget, the US will add around 255 million to 268 million in debt in the last hour of 2025, or approximately 4.2 million to 4.5 million per minute. Hopefully we can look back on that number and be amazed at how big that number is. I doubt that will actually happen though. Humanity produces 18 to 20 terawatts of energy in an hour. In other words, humanity's energy use every hour is 18 to 20 terawatt hours. That is a lot of energy. However, with the rise of data centers, growing population demand, and increasing strain on the power grid brought about by climate change, such as natural disasters and wild temperature swings, it is becoming obvious that the power grid that we take for granted today needs investment so it can function optimally tomorrow. Not just in its current infrastructure, but it also needs investment in research and development into future projects on how to, develop more ways to produce energy on bigger scales and more efficiently. In that last hour, humanity is producing and consuming higher amounts than normal. Bars and other venues are operating at max capacity. People who are normally asleep are awake, anticipating the beginning of a new year. Some are producing more biological energy because they're dancing and moving about to release that pent-up anticipation. I think that's why New Year's is one of my favorite holidays. In these particular bands of time that stretch across the earth from the north to the south, a lot of people are sharing in that energy simultaneously, and in a way I think that's really cool, and I wish we as a species could dedicate that same energy to other causes to advance our collective species as a whole. If you're familiar with Fermi's types of civilizations, the type 1 through type 5, that is still not near enough energy to even be classified as type 1. We have a ways to go to achieve that. The world will have produced 16.78 million terabytes of data in the last hour of 2025. While this is a huge number, I wonder what we will think of this number looking back on it, especially with these advancements in artificial intelligence coming in the following years. Many folks will be watching the New Year's special on air. Only 5% of Americans are expected to be out and about to ring in the new year. Most will be in the comfortable confines of their home, not worrying about bringing in the new year with a DUI. The poll was conducted at the end of 2024 by the Associated Press and the NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. They also mentioned that nearly 2 in 10 will be celebrating at a friend or family member's home, and that 1 in 20 that do plan to be out and about will probably be at a bar, restaurant, or some other organized event. A Rasmussen poll found in 2022 that 45% of Americans plan to start their year with a romantic kiss. In 2025 going into 2026, I expect the amount of people gearing up for that romantic event to be even lower, probably around 40%. The younger people just aren't into that as much, as they view it as an ick and an intrusion on their privacy. 1 in 4 Americans will be working during the transition from the old year to the next. That seems like a lot. For example, some of those Americans that are working in industries that include the emergency services like police and hospitals, You also have some retail and hospitality services like gas stations, hotel, and transportation. And I guess that is how they arrived at that number. If you are a part of that 25%, thank you so much to the emergency workers, military, and the McDonald's workers making those New Year's nuggies for you. You all are not appreciated nearly enough. Studies show men average around 5 drinks and women about 3.7 drinks during the night. Most prefer to begin drinking after midnight. However, there are many out there as well that like to end the year with a boozy bang. A decent percentage most likely will not remember if they drank before or after midnight or what even occurred in the hours before or after midnight, as they get lost in the inebriated influence of alcohol. New Year's Eve has high rates of blackouts, with around 27% of men and 17% of women respectively reporting memory loss from drinking on this holiday. That's according to alcohol.org. The most preferred drinks being champagne as a top choice, followed by tequila and vodka. Can you believe that New Year's isn't even the drunkest day of the year though? It's officially Blackout Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I would have never guessed. I would have originally thought New Year's or St. Patrick's Day. Legally, a lot of laws across the country are set to expire at the end of the hour. Geez, we could have a whole nother video on this topic. This video happens to have been made in an off-year election, so it would have been an even more wild topic to cover after a midterm or presidential election year. Some laws set to immediately go into effect once that last hour of 2025 ends include California minimum wage rising to $16.90 per hour, and several other California laws such as expanded bans on plastic bags and improved food and delivery protections for the restaurant workers, and as well as some price caps on insulin and some rights for tenants and for workers. And in other states as well, Minnesota is launching its paid leave program, and Delaware's paid family medical leave program also starts as well, and taxes, every year changing. We're gonna see a change in those as well. And healthcare is like a big deal this year, and in Maryland they're also gonna see some changes in their healthcare laws, and I think Americans are gonna have to start really thinking about what are they going to do about how are they going to come up with the money to pay for medical insurance and the medical cost in general. The legal aspects aren't the most exciting part of this video. This isn't a video that wasn't really exactly meant to be political, so moving on. I don't really plan on also covering sports predictions in this video specifically, but it will be the Miami Hurricanes not only seeing the end of the year, but having to also witness the end of their season as they see the Ohio State Buckeyes advance to the semifinals. The final score will be 31-14 in OSU's favor, and they will probably be looking for a bounce back win after a disappointing loss to Indiana in the Big Ten Championship. That's why I'm predicting that they will win in that December 31st game, and they're gonna end the night on a happy note. With this prediction, I just picture the Hurricane players drinking their sorrows away while the Buckeyes are joyfully drinking away and doing cheers to a new year. This is my first video of the year and my first video in my time and prediction series. I planned on posting this at 12 a.m. January Mountain Standard Time because I live in Arizona. So perhaps there are some of you west of me on the West Coast or the Pacific who can still view this video with a perspective of looking toward the future, or perhaps you have already experienced the start of the new year and are just curious what occurs at the final hour of any given year. Maybe you just want to look back on that last hour with me. I plan on doing videos covering longer periods of time in the near future. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and Happy New Year by the way. If you have drank, please order a rideshare service.